Unit 9, Lesson 3, Filtering and Cleaning Data. At the conclusion, you will be able to explain why data needs to be cleaned, use the data visualizer to filter data, and to create filtered charts that answer specific questions. Let's get started. We've started to explore how to use charts to process data stored in a table, but there are challenges with doing this. The ability to process that data depends on the users and available tools. Today, in this lesson, we are going to explore ways to refine the data so we can answer even more questions using the data visualizer. So take a look at this. Imagine you have used a survey to collect information from students. All of the data is now stored in a table, and you're excited to get into the data and see what you can learn. Let's go. Okay, here we're going to start the activity. If you have not yet, please pause this video, log into Unit 9, Lesson 3, Filtering and Cleaning Data. Again, pause the video and log into code.org. All right, Unit 9, Lesson 3. Navigate to Level 2 on Code Studio. Everybody there? Great. Open the Data tab. You know where it is. Familiarize yourself with the imported table. Open the Data Visualizer. Make charts, average hours of sleep, and favorite subject. Make those two charts. Pause the video and do this now. Okay, now that you've made those charts, if we're in class, we're going to discuss with partners or in small groups, what problems came up when you tried to create the charts? What problems do you see in the data? Write those down, because those are the reasons why we need to clean. One in particular, did you notice 4 and 4 are listed as different values? When I grade your tests, oh my goodness, and people write stuff in, or at least maybe not your tests, but tests online, especially in math, the number 0.5 could be 0.5, 0.5, 1/2. Or maybe somebody didn't even reduce a fraction and left it as 2/4 or 3/6. In the case of not reducing, yes, there might be some penalty, but it wouldn't be the whole thing wrong. It can be very difficult when there's no way to ensure that data is always entered in the same way. So you got to be careful, and you're going to have, if you want 4 and 4 spelled out to represent the same thing, you're going to have to make them the same. When does data need to be cleaned? When data is incomplete, it's missing things. When data is invalid, you may have to remove some portion of data. When there are multiple tables or combined into one. What leads to messy data? Users enter in different types of data, 2 and 2. Users use different abbreviations to represent the same information, February, Feb, Feber, or even misspell the darn thing. Data may have different spellings, color and color, or inconsistent capitalization, spring and spring. Remember, a lowercase s and a capital S have different values within the ASCII or Unicode tables. Okay? So these are all reasons why data may need to be cleaned. The goal when you're cleaning data is to clean it without changing the meaning. If I've got the word 4 spelled out, I just want to represent it with the numeric 4. I don't want to change the value. So you want the methods. You're going to look through the data manually, find and fix messy data. Or you could use a program to find and fix messy data. We will use the manual method today. Do this. Clean the student info table. Okay, so to edit a cell, click on the Edit button at the end of the row. Click Save after you've finished. So you've got Edit, and then you'll have Save, okay? You want to look for different types of data, 2 versus 2, 4 versus 4. Fix that. Then look for different abbreviations to represent the same information. Then check different spellings, color and color. Decide on which one you want to use. Inconsistent capitalization. Again, look for spring, spring, fall, fall. Change it so that either they're always capitalized or they're not. Manually update cells with messy data so they are consistent with the other cells while not changing the meaning of the data. Note that not all of these problems are present in this data set, so you might not find inconsistent capitalizations or different spellings. Okay? Great. Pause the video and take about 10 minutes to do this. And you're back. All right, now do this. Make some charts. Make a chart of the average amount of sleep and the favorite class. And when you're done, if you're in class, we'll be comparing with other people's. I'll have a couple of people present theirs and see if you match up with at least one of them. Okay, do your charts match up? Why or why not? What do you think? Well, your charts should look similar to others, but it depends on how you cleaned your data. Now you're able to accurately visualize the data in your table. Okay, so they should look pretty much the same, but if you made everything TWO instead of the number 2, or if you abbreviated February instead of spelling it out kinds of things, it's going to be different in that respect, but the data should still be pretty much the same. You should still see the same trends. Now you're able to accurately visualize this data. For this activity, we cleaned a data set that is similar to one you might create yourself or have uploaded from another location. However, the data sets in the dataset library have already been cleaned for you, so that way you don't have to spend time cleaning them. This one in particular was not cleaned so that you could have that opportunity. Now, most of the time, like I said, data sets, the ones that you're going to be working with, have been cleaned. But just because they're clean doesn't mean that you don't want to filter. What if I only want to look at a subset of my data? How could I do this? For example, I only want to investigate dogs with low shedding, dogs that don't shed much. Well, that's where filtering comes in. You're filtering something. You're not cleaning the data is already clean. Filtering data allows the user, or us, to look at a subset of the data. In Unit 5, we filtered data programmatically, using traversals to gain insight into the knowledge from the data. Remember when you had a list and you filtered the list? Now, software programs with built-in tools like the Data Visualizer can also be used to filter data. You're going to filter some data at this time. I want you to open up Level 3. Okay, so Unit 9, Lesson 3, Level 3. Look at it. Decide what you want to find out about the peak level of female representation in your state's legislature. What will you filter by? Percentage of females in the legislature or in the state? Well, we want to filter by state. This means the data for female state legislatures who are from your home state, which in our case is Virginia, are the only data that will be shown. So select bar chart and percentage of females in legislatures from the drop-downs. Note the bar farthest to the right represents the year or years when female representation in the legislature was at its highest in your state's history. And again, our state happens to be Virginia. Yours could be Alabama, North Carolina, Colorado, California, Texas, Arizona, Alaska. Pause the video and complete this activity. This should take you about 5 minutes. You're back. Fantastic. So here's one, because I wanted something that was different from what you will see. This is an example for the state of Illinois. Your state's, Virginia's, will look different. Okay? It will simply look different. When filtering, the most challenging part is deciding what value to filter by. You want to think to yourself, what's the limiting factor? What do I want to make sure all cats or dogs or people or birds have to be included in the subset? Now, it's time for you to fool around and play around with this tool yourself. So to do this, you're going to go to level 3. You're going to work through the activity guide and copy paste the charts you make into the activity guide. So again, the best place to get the activity guide is from code.org. Okay? Code.org, you can request a Google Doc or a Word document. There's also a PDF document if you just want to print it out and jot down your answers and sketch the charts using paper and pencil. It's all truly up to you, whichever works best. So go to level 3, get your activity guide, and then copy paste the charts you make into the activity guide, answering the questions as you go. That activity should take about 15 to 20 minutes. So pause the video and go do that. All right, you're back. Wrapping up this lesson, the data analysis process, collect or choose data. We've done that. Clean and filter. We've done that. Visualize and find patterns. We've done that. New information. We've created new information from old. Why is clean and or filter an important part of the data analysis process? Write down your answer to this question in your notes. Okay. Messy data can lead to confusing charts that could be misinterpreted. Data should be filtered when you want to focus on a subset of the data. Filtering allows you to return to the full data set if you have unanswered questions. Okay, you want to make sure that your data is uniform. If you don't clean up the difference between 2 and TWO, and then you create a chart and you just look at 2, that could be very misleading if you're talking about the number of years of experience. You might only see 3 people with the number 2 versus and lose 8 or 10 people that spelled it out, or vice versa. So you want to make sure that your data is clean. And then when you filter it, you can look at a subset, examine it for trends, and then compare it and go back to the full data set to answer questions. Now today you've done a great job filtering and cleaning data. This is a useful skill that will help you create more powerful visualizations. Data is powerful, but it needs to be correct, and you need to be able to harness the power of the data by visualizing what it's telling you. There are other things that programs can do to better prepare data for visualizations, including combining data sets, clustering data, and classifying data. The data visualizer isn't the best tool for these more advanced concepts. We're staying pretty basic in this course. So if you are interested in exploring more data analysis, may I suggest researching things like spreadsheets. Okay, there's spreadsheets. There are also database tools, access, and things like that that allow you to do a little bit more in terms of classifying and managing your data. Now, when we next convene, which means meet, we will look at Unit 9, Lesson 4, exploring 2 columns. Remember, in Lesson 2, we explored 1 column. We're going to step it up and explore 2 columns.